Evening all, Caribou Weather Dude YouTube channel. Yeah, I still haven't got a haircut, but maybe after I finish working this job this week, I can afford a haircut proper, clean up a little bit. It's springtime, time to look a little better, Joey. Well, I'm not trying to impress anybody. People are like, you have a YouTube channel. I'm like, yeah, but it's not like I'm trying to be sexy or anything. I'm just a dirty old mountain man talking trash on the channel. Weather-wise, yes, everything I said about the upcoming weather is going to happen. So we'll just sort of have a little look at the work week in British Columbia more specifically, I think. Forecasting is over for the season with Avalanche Canada. We'll visit that for a second too. And what else? Yeah, the Pacific is really throwing a lot of the same. I'll explain. Let's go.
There it is. This is bad news. My God. Anything could happen. Get on! Wow.
I'll watch the video later. They try mopping this. Could you hit like and share and subscribe if you could? As you can see, my wood stove's going because it gets chilly up here still in the mountains. I'm at 4,000 feet nearly, 50 feet short of that. Chilly nights, but a really nice, warm, gorgeous day today. So we are reaping some of that benefit. And when you look at the sky today, you didn't really see much indication that there was going to be a weather change. You might say, like, Joey, I thought you said there's going to be a pattern change. And I looked at the sky today, and the signs weren't there. And even I was thinking that. It's like looking at how clear it was all day, and I was like, man, did I throw a fail forecast? No. It's just the way things are directed. It's like all that warning that you would normally get up to the north. It's not here, and it's like we're not going to reap a great deal of this change in the Caribou. I mean, it's going to be a little cooler, maybe some showers for a day or two or three, before it rebounds back into warm. And then, then the next storm comes after that, then it rebounds back to warm, and the next storm comes after that. We're in this sort of pattern right now. Let's talk about the pattern actually first. And we'll slowly go through this at first, and then we'll go speed right through it. So what is going on right now is we have an upper level low established here. And what you're going to notice is that more or less there's hardly a break before a new one fills the gap. So maybe it works itself out. It's going to stick around there for a while, each one. Maybe it starts to work itself out, but then the next one just fills right in. So we have a pattern of upper level low in the Gulf of Alaska, which to me is eerily reminiscent of 2019 and 2020. But those were summers where we had a lot of precipitation come in. So this bodes well for the spring, I think, on the overhaul. On the long run, the fact that this seems to be consistently the pattern. We get these mid-latitude cyclones sort of coming up there, getting stuck in the Gulf of Alaska. The next one works its way out. We got this little bit of a weak atmospheric river signal I was telling you about, what I call a beneficial signal. And, of course, what's going on right now is a bunch of thunderstorms south of Saskatchewan are pretty strong right now. We got rainfall warnings in Ontario, stretching up into Quebec with some special weather statements and things like that. I expect there to be some pretty strong thunderstorms through there. And then Tuesday, we're going to see strong thunderstorms in Ontario. But we're not here to talk about that at all today, just British Columbia work week weather. So here's the pattern. Blam, sucks. Monday sucks. Snow in the north, coastal rain, maybe a little bit of showers into the Caribou, some squalls and whatnot in the mountaintops. No big deal. That low is already working its way through. All right. And then here comes the next one right in behind it. Boom, fills its place. There it is. And here we're going to do the same thing all over again as we come into the weekend. Nice and warm weather right up to the Yukon border, hitting into the pluses for Friday still. And then next one slaps in, changes the story just a little bit, puts a bit of precip into there, puts a bit of snow into the north, puts a little bit of rainfall in the south, and then again it makes a new low, which becomes a new horror show as it spreads out across the continent. Then you can see it digging in there fast and creating some kind of disturbance out into the continental areas of the United States. So they've had a lot of really wild, severe storm outbreaks. They've had a lot of tornadoes. You can see pretty good signal for a line of thunderstorms there, right? So this is the pattern continuing on. So we had this kind of nonsense go on for a day, 2 or 3, and and then we're back into the sun, and then we're back into the pattern, back into the crap, right? So here comes the next one to fill up there again, right? Just one after another up there. Basically, this upper level low pattern just keeps sitting there in the Gulf of Alaska. And that, of course, brings cooler air from the north on down, and it picks up moisture as it comes into contact here with the warmer air, and that visits the province. It visits the province a lot. And that means our jet stream is largely established through the province at this point, right? And that's, worth mentioning. Again, let's go through it fast now. Monday, Tuesday, works itself out. Weather rebounds, nice couple days through the middle of the week. Then next system comes in for the weekend. Yeah, blah, kind of gross. Rebounds quickly, but then the next gross one comes in. I think you get kind of the motion of the general dynamic we're looking at here. This is planet Earth. Everybody who's ever lived lives on this planet. Planet Earth. Okay, so we can see low pressure system down there in the United States, right? Our jet stream is like screaming kind of down, but we have sort of a secondary jet stream as well. Mark Ingalls had a great name for that, the dual jet stream situation, right? But this is sort of what we're looking at is when you have these upper level lows off the coast, they're going to feed a lot of crap into BC. They're going to keep us generally on the cooler side. So how long can that stick around for? Last year, it didn't really start until, halfway through the summer. We were in the dry. That jet stream was up to the north a lot, and we were getting that nice southerly warm weather. And there's a lot of warm weather out there. That's the thing, though. Let's have a good look at how everything was moving this last 12 hours. You can see that low pressure system building down there in the States. That torching off a little bit of lightning through Saskatchewan. Cool, I got some of my forecasts right. Mostly sticking below the border, and that's going to make its way towards Lake Superior over the next few days. And we can see our upper level low starting to establish itself out in the Gulf of Alaska right now. So as we come into Monday morning, we're still in the dry slot ahead of this system, right? And we're not seeing kind of like the scattered cirrus and different funky clouds that you might see ahead of this that's slamming up into the Panhandle, into northern BC. Tara's already going to be taking rain in the morning. Let's have a look at how she goes this week. Should be interesting for us. Crazy storms working their way to Ontario, like I said, over there. Now we're back into snow. We're back into snow 6 a.m. in the morning. And who are we looking at? We're looking at Takla landing, maybe a mix of rain and snow. Up and where? Probably snow. Telegraph looking like snow for you. You're going to be sitting below zero until maybe in the morning time. Sometime might come up. Looks like mostly rain for the Caribou. Perhaps a little bit of flurries here in the higher country. So one round of precip going through the day. That's going to visit you. Risk of freezing rain up into some of the Rocky Mountains there. So, just some things to think about as you're heading down to Bella Coola, or if you're heading up over the Duffy. You might be running into some slipperier conditions than but if the road is warm enough, it shouldn't affect you. It shouldn't stick, but hey, just giving you the heads up. There's talk of freezing rain. That's something we got to mention on here. So snow continues still Tuesday morning up north, right? It's still going on for you. Getting that snowfall. Prince George, chilly still in the mornings. Williams Lake down to 1 degrees, maybe hitting freezing overnight there Tuesday morning. We're in that unsettled weather. Still flurries and rain and showers and general cloudiness and crappiness in the Rocky Mountains, especially up north, starting to work itself out. Maybe the odd little convective flurry squall here or there. Possibility a little bit of lightning Tuesday down in southeastern BC, maybe even in Alberta too on that side. And now we're starting to see the last of it, starting to resolve, starting to look good for a couple days. This is more or less what we were looking at last night or last time I made a forecast here. 4 degrees, 3 in Prince George, Williams Lake. Might get down to 0 still Wednesday, but we're going to watch the weather start to rebound and rebound quickly and back into that really nice warm weather again. So up and down like a pendulum. So that does bode well for fire season. Really, if we can delay drying conditions, like it gets hot, sure, but then, everything gets damp and cool and fire conditions are suppressed. So even if a fire starts in those warmer days, we're in a better situation because it probably won't last more than a day, 2 or 3 before the weather calms it back down. So that's kind of the benefit of this roly-poly weather that we're into. And Thursday is going to be exceptionally nice. So we saw it getting up to like mid-teens and whatnot on Wednesday during the day. Some of the Rocky Mountains and, some of the coast mountains, maybe even here at Wells, we're going to see temperatures down to 0 at night, maybe McBride too. We'll see. They're low country. Thursday, 15s, 18 by noon already, 21, 23 for Kamloops and Kelowna, and, maybe seeing 20s up in the Caribou now, Grand Prairie up to 21, looking like a real warm parcel of air up there. So really enjoyable Thursday for everybody that I plan to be going out into the wilderness on Thursday, actually. My good buddy in Wells, who you've met on the channel a couple times over the years, Ian and I, we're going to go and do a prospecting mission, actually, looking for some access into some canyons and things like that. So it gave a good excuse, and I said, yeah. Ian's like, do you want to come ride shotgun, And I said, absolutely. I need things to shoot video about right now. My vehicles aren't in great shape. Look at the warmth in Alberta on Friday. Look at Saskatchewan, Kindersley, 24. Nice, nice, nice. So getting warmer. Medicine Hat, 25 in the afternoon. Oh, great. And really nice in BC. But of course, what happens at this point is we're already working our way back into that crappy weather I showed you earlier, right? So the next round of the crap starts coming in for the weekend. Prepare yourself for that. Enjoy the good days while they're here. And prepare yourself for cooler conditions every couple days and warm conditions. It's going to be kind of like a yo-yo, up and down a little bit, yos. But hey, like I say, there's some benefits to this. So that nothing's too crazy, nothing's too wild. We're not seeing a lot of lightning right now. We saw more lightning in the first half of April than we've seen in the second half in BC. So that's good. As things are drawing out, we didn't have, if it's only human ignitions that's causing wildfires, that's great, because usually those are ones that you can kind of get to fast enough. There's roads to them. It's not like some mountaintop. It's not like 100 mountaintops have 100 wildfires on them suddenly, and what do you do? So that's kind of the show. But I thought I'd conclude by saying that they've ended forecasting season now in Avalanche Canada, so that's one resource down for the year, right? So they're saying the earlier warm-ups caused elevated danger, but in the long term, the warm days with overnight refreezes have stabilized the snowpacks, and most places are looking fairly stable. For spring adventures, there's, of course, a few exceptions, so be aware out there. The shallower snowpacks in the Rockies and Purcells, inherently, they're weak. They have basal facets that could be triggered by large cornice falls or by a rider in shallow, steep terrain. This will be especially true when we shift into all melt, no freeze scenario, and the temperatures don't go below zero at night. So they're just giving you some examples there of, crowns, cornices that could come down on you. In addition to the shallower snowpack areas, northern BC and the Yukon will be places to watch. The snowpack's not seen warming as dramatic as regions to the south, and layers in the mid and lower snowpack have still been producing periodic large, surprising avalanches. It's likely when we do get that first big hit of summer, like heat, deeper layers could wake up and a large avalanche cycle could occur, but these conditions are probably better beach weather anyways. It's not nice being up in the mountains when the snow is melting, trying to get around, and it's like everything's soft and slushy, and you sink up to your waist in places. Pretty typical spring. If you're ambitious and willing to work or use jet fuel to reach higher elevations, and glaciers and north-facing terrain could still offer great riding. Chasing elusive corn, skiing on sunny slopes is worthwhile. Cold and snowy winter-like storms can still occur, bringing new snow and wind that can form a storm slab or wind slab conditions. They may form overnight freeze crust, creating a potential sliding layer. Be cautious during and after these storms, like we're seeing, these storms I'm talking about. Daily melt freeze cycles, clear days and cold nights lead to surface crust forming overnight, then soften during the day. This can produce favorable conditions for corn snow, but increases the risk of loose, wet avalanches. All melt, no freeze. So when we get that prolonged weather, and then all freeze, no melt. Consistently cold temperatures maintain a proper snowpack. So those are some of the different conditions we could be looking at over the next little while. So spring travel trips, the timing's crucial. Start early in the day. Don't be out there once the sun has really cooked the snow and starting to make it soft. Monitor the weather. Watch Joey Only Care Be Weather Dude YouTube channel. Assess terrain carefully. Watch for signs of instability, of course, and cornice awareness. That's one of your big dangers right now is these cornices. Okay, friends, well, that's the show for this evening. Have a good election day. I'll be busy, so no forecast tomorrow. But hey, keep your stick on the ice, your head up in the corner, and we'll see you there on the other side, everybody. Okay, have a good night. Bye now.